You do this thing I don't think you know you do. Sometimes I start a sentence, then lose my place halfway through. My thoughts get tangled, trying to explain something I barely understand myself. Most people rush to fill the silence before I find the words, but you don't. You sit there looking at me like the pause matters to you. Wait, like there's nowhere else you'd rather be. You wait, like what I'm trying to say is worth hearing completely. You don't rescue the moment, you don't finish my thoughts, you just stay. And somehow that means more than you know. Last night I changed the subject twice. You caught both times, but never pushed, never cornered me, never made me explain. You just reached for my hand and kept listening like you understood. There was something underneath it all. You make space for the things I haven't figured out. Yeah, you wait, like there's nowhere else you'd rather be. You wait, like what I'm trying to say is worth hearing completely. You don't rescue the moment, you don't finish my thoughts, you just stay. And somehow that means more than you know. Maybe that's why I trust you, not because you always have answers, not because you're trying to save me, but because you never make me feel rushed to be anything other than myself. You wait when I'm quiet, you wait when I'm unsure, you wait without making me feel guilty for needing time. And every day you teach my heart a different kind of love. You do this thing I don't think you know you do. You did it again. I was halfway through a story about something that happened at work, making jokes, changing subjects, doing everything but saying what hurt. You just sat there stirring your coffee, looking at me like you knew the story wasn't really the story. There was something underneath it too. You never call me out, you never make me say it, but somehow you always leave the door open. You notice when my smile gets there a second too late. You notice when I'm carrying nothing I say. You don't pull at the thread, you don't force it apart, you just stay close enough for me to hand it to you when I'm ready. The waitress came and cleared the table. Neither of us even looked up. You were listening to every little pause, like it mattered as much as the words. And maybe that's what gets me, not that you understand everything, but the way you pay attention to things most people miss, like the sigh before I answer, or the way my eyes drift away. You catch all the small things I thought I'd hidden. You notice when my smile gets there a second too late. conversation, I realized you weren't listening to respond. You were listening to understand. You notice without making me feel exposed. Notice without turning me into a puzzle to solve. You just make room for whatever I'm holding, and somehow that feels a lot like love. You did it again. I don't think you even know. What time is it? Never mind. The candles burned down lower than either of us noticed. You were halfway through a story when I stopped paying attention. Not to you, just to the way your eyes changed. Every time you laugh, like you forgot anyone else was here. The plates are empty, the glasses too, but somehow neither of us moves. We never finished dinner. We just kept finding things to say. One conversation turning into another, until the night slipped away. And I can't remember what I ordered or what song was playing then. All I remember is wishing we had another hour to spend. The waitress brought the check almost 20 minutes ago. It's sitting between us like neither one of us knows how to end the night that still feels unfinished. How to say goodbye when neither heart is ready yet. You smiled, I looked away for absolutely no reason. We never finished dinner. We just kept finding things to say. Oh, one conversation turning into another, until the night slipped away. And I can't remember what I ordered or what song was playing then. All I remember is wishing we had another hour to spend. Maybe that's the moment everything started changing. Not when you touched my hand, not when you looked my way, but when I realized going home sounded a little less exciting than staying. We never finished dinner. The restaurant was closing down. Chairs up on tables, lights getting dimmer now. Still neither one of us wanted to be the first to leave. And somewhere in that silence, I think my heart made a decision. What time is it? Maybe it doesn't matter. I really should go. Oh, one more thing. We made it to the parking lot, which felt like progress at the time. The restaurant had already closed. The street was almost quiet. You asked if I got home okay from that trip I took last month, And somehow that became another 10-minute conversation. Funny how leaving keeps getting delayed. One more thing, that's what we always say when the night's supposed to be ending, but neither walks away. One more story, one more laugh, one more reason to stay. It's never really one more thing when it's you. I pointed at the moon, you told me something I forgot. Then we spent 5 minutes arguing about a movie we both watched. At some point I stopped checking time. At some point you did too. The conversation wasn't going anywhere except wherever it wanted to. The funny thing is, neither of us seemed surprised. One more thing, that's what we always say when the night's supposed to be ending, but neither walks away. One more story, one more laugh, one more reason to stay. It's never really one more thing when it's you. Maybe the best moments aren't planned at all. Maybe they happen in the space between goodbye and leaving. One more thing turns into another hour. The stars move overhead, the city grows quieter, and somehow standing beside your car feels like the only place I'm supposed to be tonight. I should really go. One more thing. One more thing. I wasn't gonna tell you that we were talking about something simple. At least I think we were. Some story from years ago, some memory I'd almost forgotten. Then somehow, without meaning to, I told you why I hate disappointing people, and where that feeling came from. The words just slipped out like they'd been waiting for the right place to land. I didn't mean to tell you that, didn't plan on letting you in that far, that fast. But there I was, saying things out loud I usually keep hidden, and somehow you made it feel safe. To be honest, I kept waiting for the moment. I wish I hadn't said so much. The moment I'd start replaying it, wondering if I should've stopped. But you didn't look surprised, you didn't try to fix anything. You just listened like it was something precious I trusted you to hold. And maybe that's why I kept talking. I didn't mean to tell you that, didn't plan on letting you in that far, that fast. But there I was, saying things out loud I usually keep hidden, and somehow you made it feel safe. To be honest, most people hear a confession and rush to fill the silence. You just stayed there, letting the truth settle between us. tell you that, but I'm glad I did, because somewhere between the words and the quiet I realized I wasn't afraid anymore. And that's not something that happens often. I wasn't gonna tell you that. Funny how things change. You know what's funny? I don't finish stories anymore. The other day, I started telling you about my morning, how everything went wrong, how nothing went the way I planned. I got halfway through, then stopped and you nodded, like you already understood the part I hadn't said yet. Not the details, not the timeline, the feeling underneath it all. You don't make me explain every little thing. You don't need every piece to know what I mean. Somehow you hear what's underneath the words, and I never knew how much I needed that until you. Most people want the whole story, beginning, middle, end, but you catch the important part long before I get there, like you're listening for my heart and not just a conversation. I used to spend so much time trying to be understood. Now I barely have to try. You don't make me explain every little thing. You don't need every piece to know what I mean. Somehow you hear what's underneath the words, and I never knew how much I needed that until you. Maybe that's what closeness is, not knowing everything, but knowing enough to meet someone where they are. Tonight, I stopped in the middle of a sentence, and you smiled like you'd already arrived. You don't make me explain, you just understand without making a show of it, without asking me to prove it. And every day, the world feels a little lighter knowing you're there. You know what's funny? I don't finish stories anymore. Not with you. I don't know when it started. Some days follow me home, still hanging from my shoulders. Conversations I replay, things I wish I'd said differently. I walk through the door carrying all of it like I always do. Then somehow 5 minutes with you and it all feels lighter. Not because you fix it, not because you try. You're one of my soft places, one of the few I know where I don't have to be careful with every piece of myself. I can set the whole day down without saying a word, and somehow you understand. Sometimes we're not even talking, just sitting in the same room. You reading something, me pretending to watch a show. And this shouldn't feel important, but it does, because somehow being beside you feels different than being alone. The quiet doesn't ask anything from me, and neither do you. You're one of my soft places, one of the few I know, where I don't have to be careful with every piece of myself. I can set the whole day down without saying a word, and somehow you understand. I spent so long thinking love had to be loud. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe sometimes love is simply the place you finally get to rest. You're one of my soft places, the place I find when the world feels sharp around the edges. The place that reminds me I don't have to carry everything by myself. And every day I find myself returning without even thinking. I don't know when it started, but I know how it feels. Don't look at the time, not yet. The room is quiet in that easy kind of way, when nobody's searching for something else to say. Your hand resting close to mine, a half-finished cup between us, and for once, neither of us is thinking about tomorrow. Some moments ask for nothing except to be noticed. Stay here a minute, right where we are, before the night slips through our hands and turns into a memory. Stay here a minute, don't rush ahead. I've spent so much of my life missing the moment I'm in, but not tonight. The song is playing somewhere, I don't know the name. The kind of song you only hear when you're paying attention. The street outside keeps moving, people heading somewhere else, but this little pocket of time feels untouched by all of that. And maybe that's enough, maybe this is enough. Stay here a minute, right where we are, before the night slips through our hands and turns into a memory. Stay here a minute, don't rush ahead. I've spent so much of my life missing the moment I'm in, but not tonight. No perfect words, just your shoulder next to mine, and the feeling that nowhere else needs me right now. For the first time in a long time, I'm exactly where I want to be. Stay here a minute, the world's still turning. can wait a little longer. Stay here a minute. I finally understand why people wish for time to slow down. Because of nights like this, because of you. Don't look at the time. Not yet. Funny thing is, I didn't notice it happening. There was no single moment, no flashing sign, no grand decoration, no perfect night. Just little pieces showing up over time. Until one day I looked around and realized you were part of everything I loved. The conversations, the silence, the ordinary days, the way you stayed. When the world goes quiet and all the noise fades away, you're still there, like you've always been. When the plans fall through, when the lights go down, when there's nothing left to distract me, you're the place my heart returns to. I used to think love arrived loudly, with fireworks, with certainty, with some unforgettable moment. But now I think it sounds more like laughter at a table after midnight, or a story that takes too long to finish because nobody wants it to end. Maybe that's why it took me so long to see it. It never asked for attention. Simply stay. When the world goes quiet and all the noise fades away, you're still there, like you've always been. When the plans fall through, when the lights go down, when there's nothing left to distract me, you're the place my heart returns to. Remember most aren't the big moments, they're the small ones. The coffee getting cold, the check sitting on the table, one more thing before goodbye, the stories I never finished because you already knew. And maybe that's what love was the whole time. Not arriving, but remaining. When the world goes quiet and all that's left is what matters, you're still there, the same way you've always been. Patient, present, certain, and every road, every conversation, every moment led me here, to this peace, to this love, to you. Funny thing is, I didn't notice it happening until it already happened.